so I saw this video on Comic Vine, this pretty much this little page on Comic Vine, talking about villains they'd love to see in Beware the Batman. Now, I know a lot of people, I know a lot of you guys don't really enjoy Beware the Batman. I've grown to like it. I've grown to really like it. Not only that, my dad has grown to love it. Yeah. In the morning when I wake up in the morning, I usually find him watching Beware the Batman before I am. And he's like, God, I love this new show. He's like, he loves the new Batman. And it's really nice to see, you know, a show that we can both agree on. Because that rarely happens in this day and age where we can both watch a show, especially an animated show, and both enjoy it. So it's nice to have, you know, I can't help but thank Beware the Batman for that. So anyway, I was kind of inspired by this list to talk. This video is pretty much about me talking about villains I would absolutely love to see in Beware the Batman, because and I won't put in like Joker, Riddler, and all that. There are a lot of lesser known Batman villains that I think could really shine here, and one of those villains, as you can see right here, Black Mask. Now, Black Mask has appeared in the Batman series, and he's also appeared in Batman Brave and the Bold. But I think, you know, and here's the thing, I've heard a lot of rumors that Black Mask may be in this series. I've heard a lot of this and that about him appearing in this show. Probably because of why he's getting a lot of attention in Arkham Origins. And you know what? I think he's still one of those still lesser-known characters that I think you could work him in here and be a great enemy for Batman. You could even work in the False Face Society, which was it was kind of like the best way I could describe it was like a Gotham version of Fight Club, in a sense. But I think that would be very cool to have Black Mask lead the False Face Society and be a gangster. He would be a great foil for Tobias Whale. I think it would be great to see Black Mask and Tobias Whale go after one another, you know, in a gang war. I'd like to really see a lot more gang stuff, because we did get a little of that in the recent episode. Well, as of this recording, recent episode involving Tobias Whale and what's his name, Phosphorus Rex. I think that would be a very cool way to bring him in. I actually kind of like the top Black Mask. I really enjoy the over the topness, kind of like a DC version of Tony Montana. If we can get that Black Mask, that will be amazing. I'm also pretty much cool with them using Black Mask as this very calm, cool, and collected gangster, but when something doesn't go his way, he'll just completely flip his shit. I would be totally okay with that as well. So that's my first pick, and like I said, it's very possible that we may get Black Mask, whether in this season or next season, I do not know. So, yeah. Up next is a villain that on the page on Comic Vine they talked about, the Calendar Man. I would really like to see Calendar Man. Calendar Man would make such a great villain in this Batman series. I mean, you could probably dress him up in a costume kind of like this, like his Arkham Universe costume, or you could just have him with with just how he looked in the Long Halloween and Dark Victory comics from Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Just have him in a white suit and with the months of the year on it tattooed on his head. You could do that. I would definitely make him so intelligent. I would love to just see how intelligent he is, and make Batman kind of just beware the holidays. See what I did there? I did it by accident, I'm sorry. But I would really love to do something along those lines of having Batman kind of, you know, when a holiday shows up, Calendar Man shows up, that's when he comes in. So I would definitely be up to that. I would definitely I would love to see Calendar Man show up in like a Christmas episode or a Halloween episode. Like, it's a Halloween-centric episode. Instead of using Scarecrow or something like that, you could use Calendar Man as the villain. You know, make these Halloween-centric traps or plans for Batman. And you could definitely do something like, you could do an overarching story arc with Calendar Man similar to the Long Halloween. You could definitely start with a Halloween episode. I wouldn't say, like, make it, like, every year. Like, maybe once in every episode, Calendar Man shows up when it's, like, a holiday or super obscure holiday. Something like that. Like, Batman has to be on his he can't enjoy the holidays anymore because Calendar Man is here. So, and here's the thing. I don't think he would I wouldn't have Calendar Man call himself that. I think the press would call him the Calendar Man. And then he would just be like, the Calendar Man. I like it. It's a good name. I would also, I'd love to have Calendar Man, this very calm, cool, and collected, and incredibly intelligent, like serial killer level intelligence, like Hannibal Lecter level intelligence. To he doesn't fight Batman with his fists. He just fights him with he can actually outwit Batman and Kitana. I think that would be really great, just to have him in here, and just show that a guy named Calendar Man can be scary. So yeah. Up next is the Clue Master. Now, since we're probably not going to get Riddler anytime soon, I think the Clue Master would be a great villain to use in his place, because pretty much the Clue Master is pretty much Riddler light. Because what he does is pretty much he commits crimes and leaves clues there. He leaves clues for his opponents, so I think he would be a great way, instead of using the Riddler, you can just use the Clue Master. And you could use the origin that he was a former he was a former game show host that was cheated and wronged, like in a classic Batman animated series episode, and just have him come after these people and leave clues of the people who wronged him, and Batman, and make him very intelligent. I would definitely make Clue Master incredibly intelligent and make all these clues very difficult for Batman and Kitana. Hell, I'd even have it like that he's captured Alfred for whatever reason. Probably not follow up with the capturing Alfred thing, but something along the lines of capturing someone close to Bruce. Maybe he traps Batman, and when he gets away, he captures Kitana, or something like that, or captures Batman, and Kitana has to save him, but she sucks at clues. And it's just and this episode would basically follow her trying to learn how to, use her, follow her instincts a bit more. She's very intelligent, but when she's looking, it would basically be her trying to find a way to learn how to understand the small things, like Batman, like Bruce does, something along those lines. And plus, for those who don't know, the Clue Master is the father of Stephanie Brown, the of course, most of you guys know that character that DC doesn't seem to give a fuck about. So, it'd be so nice if to have the Clue Master in here and plotting all his revenge and stuff, but still having his daughter Stephanie with him, not having her as Batgirl or spoiler or anything, but have her like she's just like she doesn't understand why her dad is kind of toiling away in the basement of their home, or they'd probably be living in an apartment. He got cheated so bad, and he'd just be toiling away in his room in this ratty ass apartment. But he does love his daughter I would have it that he would love his daughter very much, and it would play out like a tragedy in the old Batman '90s cartoon. I would definitely have that. I just suddenly realized something. I've been saying the word definitely a lot, like Runt from Rita and Runt in Animaniacs. I've just suddenly realized that. I've been saying that word a lot in this entire goddamn video. But yeah, but getting back to the video itself, something along those lines of having the Clue Master, because again, we probably won't have the Riddler, but we can definitely still have the Clue Master, and he can play in a good Riddler fill-in until we eventually do get the Riddler, and something like that. Anywho, hope you guys enjoyed that one, but we've still got a few more villains to go. So the next villain is the Clock King. I would absolutely love to have the Clock King back. Oh, that would be so nice to have the Clock King back. Definitely, I would absolutely love to have. How I would do it is, again, it's another villain who uses his brains against Batman, and Batman has to be timed. Batman has to be timed before, a victim gets captured, or, Clock King does something horrible to them, and Batman has a certain amount of time to go to find him and stop him. Something along those lines. I would even have it like there's time-themed booby traps. Like Batman's locked in a room, and Clock King tells him over the intercom, you have about 17.8 seconds or 7 minutes and 30 seconds to get out of this room without setting off a single alarm, and also you can't move your legs in that way, in that order. So, yeah, something like that. Again, I think he would be a very a very menacing villain, because what I've been loving about Beware the Batman is they're making all these lesser-known Batman villains very menacing, very scary, very just kind of terrifying. I mean, I did like what they did with Humpty Dumpty, a very lesser-known Batman villain, and they actually mentioned his origin of brutally murdering his mother. They didn't say it outright, but they mentioned it, which I very much liked, and I've been loving what they've been doing with the League of Assassins. So I have no doubt in my mind that they could do something just amazing with the Clock King. And plus, I just want to see him back, because very underrated villain, but again, I think he's another villain that could be another, like, Riddler-esque character if they don't use Calendar Man or, Clue Master. This would be another choice I would love to see. Again, another great lesser-known Batman villain. So, next up is the Terrible Trio. Now, the Terrible Trio you can do one in two ways. You could do one way, the original Terrible Trio, and make them like a Clockwork Orange type group, like this a trio of kids who are very intelligent, but they're sociopaths. They think they're smarter than everyone else, and they think they have the right to choose who lives and who dies, because they think they're that smart and intelligent. Or they just love or you could have them like they're just so psychotically broken, they're so mentally worn down and so messed up in the head that they just think hurting people's fun. Like, you could just have them break into Gordon's house and have them just randomly beat him and his daughter. Why? Because they find it fun. Or you could just have them break into people's houses and hurt people for no good reason. Just make their crimes so random that even Batman's like, none of this is making sense, you know? Have Batman just kind of like, what is their purpose? Because one minute they could be blowing up a building, or taking down a car, or randomly finding a stranger just to break his legs. You could do that way with the Terrible Trio. Or the other way, there is another way that you could do, and I'd be totally fine with. There was a comic called Batman Retroactive. In Batman Retroactive, the Terrible Trio were reintroduced as these three super assassins. Now, what you could do with that is that you could bring in the Terrible Trio and not call them the Terrible Trio, like make Katana or Commissioner Gordon, or even Katana could say, these guys are like a terrible trio, and their code names are like Fox, Vulture, and Shark, and they're just a trio. They're three assassins that were like the personal bodyguards of Lady Shiva, or they were personally trained by Lady Shiva, and she sends them out to go kill Batman and Katana. You could do that, and I'd be totally fine. You could have not really like or you could do the other way. A third way I just thought of. You could bring in. This could be also a way you could bring in Man-Bat. This would kind of similar to how they did it in the Batman. Is that what they did was pretty much Kirk Langstrom's serum, Man-Bat serum, was altered by these three students that were considered outcasts, and they turned themselves into a Shark, a Vulture, and a Fox. So you could do that, and eventually in the later on seasons you can bring in Man-Bat. Like, they were test subjects of Kirk Langstrom, and basically you could change up Kirk Langstrom and make him like a Dr. Monroe type, like Dr. Moreau and make him like he's like a failed genetic engineer who his experiments were so wrong that they kicked him out. And now he found these three test subjects while he was working at Gotham University after changing his name and stuff like that, and he took his three brightest students and turned them into monsters. You could do that. There's a third way I just thought of. So, yeah, one of those three ways, either one of those three ways could be great for Beware the Batman. I'd be totally all for it. And finally, and this is a guy who also, once again, was a guy that was mentioned in the article I was reading from Comic Vine, is the KG Beast. You could definitely bring in the KG Beast as an assassin hired by Tobias Whale or Simon Stagg or some other rich guy, and you can have him like he was a former Russian assassin after the Soviet Empire crumbled. He just hires himself out as an assassin. Or you could have it like something like Bane, where you could have like he was a former Russian assassin who was found by the League of Assassins after the Soviet Union crumbled, but he was excommunicated for being too violent. You could do that with the KG Beast. But definitely I see him more as like he's a gun for hire, something like You could have that. You can definitely do something like that. I can definitely see the... again, I suddenly now realize I've been saying definitely a lot in this video. I got it. It's kind of like I'm doing it not on purpose. It's just how my brain's kind of like clicking back to that word. So I apologize for that. But yeah, you could do that. I can absolutely see the his gun arm, because it was a cybernetic implant he got after losing his arm. You could have that, like he got that after losing an arm or losing his hand and most of his arm in a conflict with Afghanistan, and say like, oh, the Russian scientist gave him a new limb. Or you could even have it like he was again, you can bring in the Russian thing and say that he was trying to be, he was a Spetsnaz who was brought into a program, subjected to a lot of tests, and he's come to Gotham trying to find the scientist who wronged him. You could do that. Or, you know, hired to kill somebody. Again, one of those ways I could see more or less working very well into the Beware the Batman universe. So, yeah, that's just a few ways I could see that happening. But, yeah, I really... one of these six, I don't know... Again, these guys may be lesser-known Batman villains, but I can absolutely see them working so well into the Beware the Batman universe and playing up the whole dark aspect. So, I really want to know, guys, what Batman villain, lesser-known Batman villains would you love to see in Beware the Batman? And what did you think of my list of Beware the Batman rogues? Did you like them? Did you not like them? You know, shit like that. Let me know what you guys think. Because I love doing this. I love doing this villain list. It was so cool to dig around and just think about all the lesser-known Batman villains and see how well they would work in Beware the Batman. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm out.